Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to another video. It's great to see you. Your hair is looking pretty damn good today. I know, again, it's been a while since my last video, but I was home for the holidays, so I didn't have anything to actually make videos with. But anyway, now I'm back, and as the title suggests, we will be talking about an 80s cult classic film's random sequel that nobody asked for. Great. Yes, we're talking about Lost Boys 2: The Tribe, which came out 21 years after the first film. And if you've never heard of either of them, what the fuck is wrong with you? No, The Lost Boys was an awesome vampire film that came out in 1987, I think, with cool hair. Seriously, this dude's hair is amazing, Jesus Christ. A girl named Star, vampires, comics, vampire comics, an oiled up man playing saxophone, and that one kid from the Goonies. I would give a quick summary of the plot of the first film, but it honestly has no bearing on the second film whatsoever. Only one character comes back, well, two, but that's a random cliffhanger twist at the end, but we'll get to that. And of course, I am going to be comparing the first film and the second film quite a lot in this video, because The Lost Boys is quite a nostalgic film for me, and so I got the box set for these films because yes, there is actually 3 of them. For some reason, I am actually very excited about this video because I could finally rant about a random film that nobody's ever heard of, and that's the point of the video. Happiness. In the arms of the angel. So it's hard to actually tell how successful this film actually was financially, because some sites say that the budget was... Hello, future Morgan here. Well, technically still past Morgan to you, but future Morgan to that guy, but present Morgan to me until I rewatch the footage and then it's past Morgan. But whatever, I'm here because I was very stupid here. I was looking at the wrong statistics. Lost Boys 2 budget was around $4.5 to $5 million, and as of January 2011, it sold over 1.25 million copies, which apparently is or was a record for a direct-to-DVD release. But despite that, it still has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes with only 7 reviews, which shows how little people actually cared about this film. So anyway, I just wanted to clear that up, so carry on with the video. But it must have made some money because they made a third film only 2 years after. And when I got to the main menu of the DVD, I was already disappointed. What did they do to the song? In the first film, one of the things that stuck with me the most was the soundtrack. Especially Cry Little Sister by Gerard McMahon. It's quite 80s gothic with the choir in the back. It fit so perfectly. So he remade the song for the second film, but ruined it. Editing Morgan here again, because I was wrong again. For Lost Boys 2, a random band called Aiden did the remake of the song for Lost Boys 2, but Gerard McMahon, who wrote the original, remade the song himself, and that's the version that got me really annoyed. So that's the version I'm going to show you here. Just listen. Little sister. But the music video does have some really cool skateboard and BMX tricks. So we start the film by watching a bunch of cool surfer bros breaking into a beach.
Take this area, bitch! Alright, let's go. I don't know where you found this swastika waving wannabe skinhead. Get the fuck away from me, psycho.
That one dude thinks it's absolutely hilarious.
Get the fuck away from me.
And they literally shout, "We're breaking in." Which is good because I wasn't sure if they were breaking in or not, so I'm glad that they cleared that up for us. Do people have to break into beaches? Do beaches close? I thought they were public domain. Well, it turns out that this bit of beach actually belongs to this dude, who I'm pretty sure was in Dusk Till Dawn. He was the dude with the, like, dick revolver gun thing. Which is another vampire film, but it was good until the vampires got involved. And after this very weird shot, we find out that this dude is actually a vampire. Oh no, what was our little gang going to do? Well, as it turns out, they're vampires too. So they rip him to shreds in an actually kind of cool but brutal killing scene where one of the vampires makes a hyena noise. I guess because they're killing in a pack and he's laughing like a hyena, it's still a bit of a weird choice, but okay. The group then cut off the vampire's head, and Kyle has quickly become my favorite vampire.
Yo! Suck my dick, bitch! Hey, Shane! Check this out! Ow! Fucking... I think I hit the spine!
Probably because he is the only vampire in this film with any kind of personality. So the vamps then move into this dude's massive house. And then we have this really long intro sequence, which is very grey. There's a lot of shots of surfing and water and more water, just a bit more water and some random people. And you'll quickly notice that this film...
That's quite...
grey. Because it came out in that time where all films had a really drab and boring colour palette for some reason. But in The Lost Boys 1, there was a really long intro sequence where it showed a bunch of random shots of the town, and it gave you a feeling of where you are. You know, it was showing the people and like the 80s fashion with a bunch of missing posters, and there was colour. Whoa! Who'd have thought colour would be a nice thing to look at? Just compare these two intro sequences and tell me which is more interesting and better to actually just look at. But then we meet our two protagonists. There's Chris, who thinks that this place is...
Not bad, not bad. Not bad at all.
And his little sister Nicole, who we know is his little sister, because this film has no subtle exposition whatsoever.
Not bad at all. Right, little sister?
We could have easily figured out that they're brother and sister through the film, especially since those two being family is very key to the plot of the film. You didn't have to shove it in our faces like that, guys. They're renting this small house from this woman who seems to know them, but they don't tell you how they know each other.
Oh
Hi.
my goodness, look at
Hey,
you!
Julia.
I wasn't expecting you for ages. You're so
Sorry,
early.
we didn't know how long it would take.
The last time I saw you, you were this high.
I drank my milk.
Here, you drank your milk, you silly.
They put exposition where they don't need to put exposition, but then they don't put exposition where they do need to put exposition. But whatever, they're shown around the house, and then they go into the garden, and there's just this random kid and an old man.
Ignore the old guy.
No, I will not ignore the old man.
Imagine being shown around a house where you want to stay, and they're just like, well, as you can see, there is a lot of space here, so it's perfect for gatherings and spending time with family and friends. Yeah, this is amazing, honestly. There's just so much space, and it really just is perfect. Yes, well, over here we have the fireplace, and ignore the foot goblin. But as you can see, the architecture is very... Whoa. Ignore the what? The foot goblin. This is where he likes to spend most of his time in the house.
I like feet.
Well, why the hell is there a foot goblin in the house? Well, it lives here.
Give me the feet.
Well, now I would like to live here, and... Did it just say it wants my feet? Yeah, it does that. So if you'll come with me... Nope. No, I'm sorry, but I can't do this. No, I'm gonna go. I'm not living with another goddamn goblin, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. One of these days we'll find someone who wants to live with you, and maybe they'll even give you their feet, eh? Wouldn't that be great?
I love feet.
Yeah, I know you.
Give me your feet.
The siblings find some antlers and find them very funny for some reason.
Check this out.
Oh my god. We're gonna put these up right now. These have got to go up.
Safety hazard.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
They head into the grey town and go to the grey store, but on the way we see this film's version of the Saxophone Man, and it is the biggest downgrade I have ever seen. I'm so sorry, Saxophone Man. You are an oily god. So at this very grey shop, Nicole gets hit on by a member of Fall Out Boy.
Hey, you wouldn't happen to have the time.
You're actually wearing a watch.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
And it's here we learn that Chris is actually a very famous surfer who got kicked off of the circuit. Apparently he's the best surfer of all time.
You're Chris Emerson, right? Yeah. What's your name, Dan?
Alex. Dude, it's too bad you got kicked off the circuit. You're the most amazing surfer since Slater, since Powers, man.
All of these surfer characters, I can't wait to see it all come into play as part of the plot at some point in the film. That's why we're establishing him as a good surfer, right? Maybe a vampire against human surf-off to determine the fate of humanity or something? But it's here where Chris learns about the Frog Brothers.
I was looking to shape.
Well, in that case, yeah, check out Frog Brothers, man. He's the only real shaper we have around here.
Where's the shop at?
Why did he ask that so intensely? Please.
Where is it? Where is the shop, you stupid piece
I
of
already
shit?
told you. I already told you where it is.
Oh, you don't want to tell us? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But what about that?
No,
What about
please,
that?
please not Squiggles. No, please.
Tell me where
Please,
it
no.
is.
I may have gone too far in a few places.
So they go to the Frog Brothers shop, which is just a trailer with a salt circle around it. I thought salt circles protected you against spirits and like voodoo magic. At least that's what it does in the Skeleton Key, but that's a completely different thing. In this film, he leaves his address at the Frog Brothers trailer. Oh, I just smacked my mic. At the Frog Brothers trailer to find. Then Chris starts longing for the waves, even though he can still like go surfing, right? Just because you got kicked off of the circuit doesn't mean you're just banned from all surfing. Who's going to enforce that? Just a bunch of surfer bros who follow him around and beat the shit out of him if he tries to surf. But he's longing for the waves. And he's longing for them. He's still longing for them. He really wants those waves. All day. Surfer bro vampire that sounds like Tommy Wiseau then appears out of nowhere and invites Chris to a party.
I'm having a surf party. You should cruise over, meet the rest of the guys. They're killer.
Thank you, honey. This is a beautiful party. You invited all my friends. Good thinking.
So Chris and Nicole both decide to go to this party, but then the woman who they're renting the house off of comes in with Goonies on DVD.
I don't know if the two of you are busy tonight or not, but I have got the Goonies.
What? Excuse me?
The Goonies? Oh my gosh, you mean to say that two of you have never heard of the Goonies?
Which is very confusing, because Corey Feldman is in The Goonies and all of the Lost Boys movies. You can even see him on the box. That raises so many questions, but we'll move on. They get to a surfer bro party and it's filled with weird rock music, a half pipe, breakdancing, girls kissing, and boobs. Because of course it is. The whole party scene has these random shots of the crowds, which is very disorientating. And this next clip has the best audio dubbing I have heard in a long time.
Idiot, here in Luna Bay. What are you, fucking stalking me?
We live here now.
Great, maybe we can get together again, Nicole. I can show
You barbecuing for
around.
him?
Not you,
Is that your
maybe
new job?
hot sister though.
Not cutting it
Hey,
for you?
speaking of which,
Huh?
it's
Did you
been
give
a
me
long
drink?
time, but I gotta tell you, you're looking
Yours
really good in those
garbage,
boots.
Why don't you stop being such an ass?
Oh, I love it so much. But that clip reminds me that this film takes place at Luna Bay, which I would say is a lot more of a werewolf type name to call a place, because it involves the moon. A vampire location should be called... I don't bloody know, but not that. But anyway, Chris wants to leave the party until his sister points out a little hottie. Her words, not mine.
Okay, don't look now. But that little hottie over there by the fire is giving you all kinds of love. Have fun!
And Chris is very easily influenced by the horny. So of course he decides to stay. Fall Out Boy then tries to hang out with Nicole, but the vamps stop him so the main vampire can try and get in there. Just... He's in there. And for some reason in this whole scene, they show the main vampire in like a blue light. I'm guessing to represent the moonlight or how the night reveals his true self. But again, that sounds more like a werewolf thing. And I don't understand. Chris is then seduced by the lady in red. Very easily, mind you.
And because I know who you are.
You follow surfing?
Surfers. I follow surfers. And sometimes they follow me.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
And we get our first sex scene. Yes, I said first. And this scene actually made me realize that the shower is actually a great place to kill someone as a vampire. So only do that if you're a vampire. Oh, and a spoiler alert. She's a vampire, obviously though. I mean, come on. But you can kill them and it doesn't matter how much blood goes everywhere because you're in the shower. You can just easily clean it all up. But while all that's happening, Nicole is with Shane and she starts to tell him about how their parents died in a car crash, which is why Chris got kicked off the circuit.
Car accident a few years ago. I think it was actually a lot harder on Chris than it was on me. You know, I think that's why he snapped.
Is that why he got kicked out the circuit?
Yeah, and lost all his sponsors. Not the right image.
Which is a bit of an awkward conversation to get into when you're just trying to bang. Then Shane decides to lighten the mood a little bit by doing a magic trick by bringing a rose back to life. What? Can they do magic? The only explanation that I can think of within like the confines of this universe is if he is tricking her brain into thinking that the flower was dead or that has been revived. Like how Michael in the first film was tricked into thinking he was eating maggots and worms. But they don't portray it as that, so it just seems like they have magical powers now. And Shane gets Nicole to drink a mysterious liquid out of a flask. Ooh, vampire juice. And then it shows us something that I've never really thought about. We see a vampire prank.
Yo, Kyle, what president?
Fucking stings, man. That's not cool. Fucking asshole, man. It's gonna get fucking laid.
I mean, they can't die, so slicing each other open might become a fun joke if you're used to it. And all the human people around them aren't freaking out anywhere near as much as I would. I would be sprinting for 5 days straight and have years worth of therapy after seeing something like that. But Chris then leaves the sex scene after a weird incest joke.
I'm sorry, I gotta go. I have to go check on my sister.
Your sister?
I'm sorry.
So you go that way, huh? I can do that.
And finds his sister coming back from a motorbike ride with Shane. There's a little bit of a fight. Chris punches Shane to like get his sister back. And as they're walking away, there's just some random dudes shouting and hurling insults.
Get the hell out of Malibu, Lebowski!
Stop walking like a fag.
Like, alright, prick. On the way home from this party, Nicole starts saying that she doesn't feel right, and Chris just does not care in the slightest.
Chris, something is seriously wrong with me right now.
Nothing's wrong with you. You're just drunk.
Chris, I am not drunk. Something is seriously the matter with me.
Okay, just hang on a little bit, alright? We're almost home.
Like, bro, your entire personality is just surfing, horniness, and being protective of your sister. Even if she was just drunk, you could at least be a little sympathetic. He doesn't even care when she throws up.
Oh my god. Oh my god,
So he thinks that she is just drunk until she does this.
A glass of water and some Advil. Alright, you're just drunk.
I'm not drunk. I'm sick.
But never fear, Chris is rescued by the Superman of this universe. The one, the only.
Chris Emerson, Allegra Frog.
He tries to kill Nicole, but then Chris stops him and he puts her to bed. And yes, it does all happen that fast. The little hottie from the party randomly appears at their house. I guess she followed them back to their house? But vampires can't fly in this film for some reason. They could in the first one, but they have super speed in this film, so did she just run behind them the whole way? And Chris is once again influenced by the eternal power of the horny, which initiates sex scene number 2. To be fair to Chris, he does say no until he sees titties.
You know what? I'm sorry, I can't do this with my sister back there.
Let me see if I can change your mind. Yeah?
But then she's obviously a vampire. Oh my god. So she starts getting a bit too excited. And are you ready to see how this vampire dies?
Please get off!
Yes, she turned into stone and exploded.
Wow.
Is this because she was supposed to be like physically perfect, like a statue? Or did they just think it would be cool? Well, it's not cool, and they probably didn't think about the first thing. So, after witnessing this carnage and murdering a vampire accidentally, which is kind of impressive, to accidentally kill an immortal killing machine. Like, imagine accidentally killing a leprechaun. He goes to see Edgar, who has garlic up everywhere, even though in the first film they established that garlic doesn't actually work.
Garlic don't work, boys! Try holy water, death breath!
So it's good to see that all of the rules of this universe are very consistent. And Edgar just blurts out what I presume to be a very serious slur towards vampires.
Your sister's a suck monkey.
So we all know the things that kill vampires, yeah? Garlic, which apparently doesn't actually work, but apparently it does now, so cool. Holy water, sunlight, a wooden stake through the heart. What else kills vampires, man? Werewolves? But I'm not a professional vampire hunter. Edgar is. And he explains that the wooden stake through the heart is actually a myth. He says,
I thought it had to be like a wooden stake or something.
That's a myth. Any sharp object will do. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even have to be sharp. It can be a blunt object, as long as it pierces the heart.
Which, to me, begs the question, why not just use a gun? If any object through the heart can kill them, it doesn't even have to be sharp, it can be blunt, then just shoot it in the heart. You could do that from a mile away. Okay, find the lair, wait on a hill with a good line of sight until nighttime, and then just pop the leader vampire when he comes out. Then you wouldn't even be putting yourself in any danger. He also explains that drinking the head vampire's blood is what turns you into a vampire, and vampires sometimes put it into a wine bottle to trick people into drinking it, like they did in the first film. And then he makes a drink called frog juice.
Dude, what are you drinking, man?
Frog juice, garlic, holy water, and raw eggs.
Do you ever just sit back and realize what you're doing and wonder, what the fuck are you doing? Because I just got a big bit of that, because I'm going to be making frog juice. So in the film, he said that it was garlic, raw eggs, and holy water. So I've got water in this, which I have had blessed by a real-life priest, so that should be okay. Okay, I think we should put the egg in first. Raw egg. Seems to be the best base to get in there. Oh, should it be water? It all gets mixed up anyway. I should preface, I've never had raw egg before in my life, so this is going to be, I mean, obviously it's going to be a whole new experience for me. Who the fuck made this? I think in the film he just kind of crushes a single piece and like adds a bunch of the cloves in, or the little segments, whatever they're called. I don't think they're called cloves. I think they're, oh, get off. Hey, mamma mia. Shall I just put a whole one of these in? Can't imagine that's what he does in the film, but you know what, he probably does do that in the film because garlic apparently stows off vampires in the second one, but not the first one, so let's just put a few of these in. Holy water, blessed by the priests. I've got to mix it, so I've got a singular chopstick. Doesn't really smell of anything. No one's telling me to do this. Why am I doing this? Oh, I see a bunch of egg yolk in the bottom. I'm just gonna take a sip. Oh. Okay. It doesn't really taste of anything. That's actually kind of disappointing. I think my body's only like trying to reject it because I know that I shouldn't be drinking this because salmonella. Good amount of protein in that. I would be worried about when I get to the egg yolk. Oh yeah, it gets stronger. I mean, it definitely gets stronger. The holy water really mellows it out. That's quite disappointing. I went to the shop and got all these bits and it's not even like offensively disgusting. It's more of a subtle disgusting. Well, your body's like, you shouldn't be drinking this, so I'm going to try and stop you, but it's not horrific enough for me to just explode out of you. I mean, now I'm probably protected from vampires for like 3 years. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe it is offensively bad. Oh, that was just yolk. Anyway, on with the video. Chris learns that his sister is only half a vampire, so she can still be saved by killing the head vampire. Basically the same plot as the first film, without the comedy, interesting actors, personality, or a cute dog. Back home, Nicole is acting strange. And I was actually surprised to find out that this film came out before Twilight. So the grey colour scheme and vampires having weird super speed was not influenced by Twilight at all. But Nicole has invited Panic at the Disco over, and he arrives with a bottle of wine.
I brought wine.
I love wine.
Didn't the last scene just teach us that vampires could use wine bottles to trick people into turning into vampires? Yes, they did. They literally just established that. But no, it's pointless. Again, I can't tell if it's an intentional red herring or the writers just didn't care. But she starts trying to eat him in, you guessed it, almost sex scene number 3. Until Chris comes in as a holy cockblock.
Oh shit. Did you do it?
My Chemical Romance then gets kicked out and taken by the vampires using telekinesis? These vampires have all kinds of crazy new abilities. How do they not rule the world? Chris tries to explain to Nicole that she's a vampire, and she gets all sarcastic about it.
And by drinking his blood, you've been turned into a vampire.
Right, I'm a vampire, Chris. Great. Stop being such an asshole. I'm not a freaking vampire.
I'm not.
Bitch, you've had super speed and literally just tried to suck a man dry. dry of blood. She tried to suck out all of his blood, whatever. To prove it, he shows her that she has no reflection, even though she's only half a vampire, and the first film taught us that halflings still have half of their reflection. Oh my God, there's no consistency. We do get another great example of how amazing this film's writing is, though.
No, calm down.
No, Chris, I'm not gonna calm down. What's wrong with you? I tried to eat that guy. Do you realize that? Do you know what it's like for me to want to drink blood? Do you know how disgusting that is? I'm a vegetarian.
Which is just hilarious. The next step for our gang is to find the vampire lair, since that big house is actually just a lure and feeding ground for the vampires. Edgar mentions another random power that vampires suddenly have now.
They can read your thoughts before you even have them.
Because of course they can read minds now. I need some psychic vampire repellent. And if you're wondering why there's only one frog brother here, which you probably aren't, but throughout the entire film, they allude to the fact that his brother has been turned into a vampire, which would have been a much better film, especially since fans of the first film already know those characters, and it just seems like it would be a much more interesting story in general, rather than essentially copying the story of the first film. But they decide that the best plan is for Chris to go undercover and get into the inner circle of vampires to find out where their lair is. Shane also uses mind control, whatever, to get Nicole to walk to the lair. We get to the vampire lair, and it's really cool. There's a half pipe, a bar, pool tables, a big ass TV with consoles. It actually looks like such a great place to hang out. No idea how they managed to get everything in there, since the only entrance is this normal sized doorway and thin stairway. Another one of their vampires must be the ability to shrink objects and then grow it. Grow it, increase, make it big. We get to see another vampire prank as well, with more of Kyle's laugh. And I'll just play this.
Dude, you're fucking squirting everywhere. You're squirting.
You guys can make your own jokes about that, and I know what you guys have been thinking. It has been far too long since our last sex scene. But this one is to the weird remake of Cry Little Sister. And by the way, the first film only had one sex scene, which I think was to Cry Little Sister as well, which is interesting. Chris is trying to find his sister and confronts Johnny, who is one of the vampires, and for some reason he moves like a robot.
Where the hell is my sister, man?
Oh, hey, relax, little man, okay?
Looking like he's about to tell his mum that he missed the bus. He goes to the lair and we get more Tommy Wiseau style dialogue.
Do you know how much the fear of death has limited you, Chris? The negative impact it's had on your life?
What a story, Mark.
So in the first film, I told you I'd be comparing them a lot. We get this line.
You'll never grow old, Michael. And you'll never die. But you must feed.
Which is cool, the delivery's awesome, and it happens just after we finally get to see the vampires kill a bunch of dudes for the first time. And that scene traumatized little baby boy me. So let's see how they handle basically the same line in the second film.
You and your sister will never grow old. You'll never die, and you'll never know fear again.
It's so lame. Who cares about knowing fear again? Talk about the eating humans part. This comes straight after the random bit of him giving the vampires their backstories. Granted, the first film didn't give all of the vampires like in-depth backstories, but it didn't need to. But the initiation kind of thing that Chris has to do to get into this inner circle of immortal vampirific beings is to go to the police station, reference warriors, do some awesome motorbike tricks, and then run away. That's it. But in the first one, Michael almost got tricked into driving off of a cliff, hung onto a bridge as a train was going past until he fell off, got tricked into eating maggots and worms, so his little initiation thing was a lot more interesting. After this, Shane tells Chris to think long and hard about becoming a vampire because once you join the tribe, you can never turn back. And I'm thinking, is this you? Didn't you trick your girlfriend into drinking your blood? She didn't know what she was getting into. What's with this sexist idea of choice, you damn misogynistic blood monkey? Oh no. I'm sorry guys. Let's move on. Chris goes back to the house to find out that their payment for the rent has bounced, and we find out this.
I saw your sister had a guy over last night. How old is she?
She's almost like 18.
That means she's 17 years old.
Nicole is 17. She's underage. Well, not in England, but she is where this was filmed, and it's never brought up again. It's this random crazy twist that they just throw in for no reason. It adds nothing to the film, it never comes up again. I don't get it. After this, the group all heads to Devil's Reef to do some surfing. Finally, the surfing is going to come into play. Right? Nope, there's just more of Kyle's laugh.
What?
Gratuitous nudity and girls kissing. Why did they set up the antagonist and protagonist to both be amazing, world-class surfers if it's not going to mean anything? You know the whole, if you show a gun in the first act, it has to be used by the third act. What about surfing? I hate that so much. But on the way there, Chris drinks some of the vampire blood. Because why wouldn't you? You get to live in an awesome lair, play cool pranks on each other, a seemingly endless number of powers, motorcycle tricks. Vampire life sounds like the best. Apart from maybe the massacring of legions of innocent people. Just aim for the bad ones. Then you're an anti-hero, not a bad guy. Or just cut a deal with a blood bank. Just be like, yo, can I get a bag of blood? Here's $300 for the blood. Thank you. It really could just be that easy. So they're partying, they're recording stuff, as they do throughout the entire film for some reason. It's never addressed or explained, they just record everything they do, but they start to feed on the ladies, revealing their true form.
We're vampires!
Which is just as stupid as it looks on the DVD. There's a pretty cool and bloody feeding scene.
I think I love this girl! Oh, I fucking love this girl!
Which I'm not sure I could actually show you guys, so I'm sorry, but the practical gore in this film is actually pretty good. Chris tries to spare the girl that he was supposed to eat, because he ain't no human eater, but she still gets horrifically murdered anyway. And then the vampires go after Chris because he's a pussy boy no human eater, which results in vampire death number 3. Kyle quickly reminds us why he is the best of the vampires.
You ain't got no fucking stick now, do you?
And the other vampire is wearing the most obvious fake fans I've seen in a while. But just before they attack, our Lord and Savior appears.
Hey! Who ordered the steak?
And notice how the vampires run away at super speed. And seconds later, Chris does this.
I am cool.
Why don't they just super speed attack Edgar? Super speed is one of the most overpowered abilities possible. Just go super speed and punch him in the head. He'll be dead immediately.
I can't stop.
But here we go, baby. Now they're on their way to the lair to end this once and for all. Edgar gives the same speech about killing vampires like he did in the first one.
When a vampire buys it, it's never a pretty sight. No two bloodsuckers go out the same way. Some yell and scream, some go quietly. Some explode, some implode, but all will try to take you with them.
Which I actually kind of liked. He goes through all of his vampire killing gear. He has a grenade launcher for holy water balloons.
Next, we have my air-propelled rocket grenade launcher for holy water balloons. This is my baby. Don't touch it.
Just use grenades. Or, better yet, bring a fucking death machine, since bullets can kill vampires in this universe. Just use guns. Meanwhile, Nicole is preparing for her first kill, and oh my god, they actually have a coffin. And that looks brand new as well. Oh, and Yumi at 6 is in the coffin. The lads then head into the vampire nest. Then the one vampire that always has the camera uses his super speed to grab Chris and put him somewhere else to fight. So fast that Edgar didn't even realize it happened.
Chris! Chris! Shit. We're part of stay together, don't you understand?
So just do that, but put your fist into him. But those two tussle for a bit next to this massive drill, and Chris uses it to get vampire kill number 4, which is more practical and grotesque, so I can get behind it. Edgar is being spooked by Kyle.
Yep, it's ugly.
Then we get the most anticlimactic death possible for the best vampire in this entire film.
Missed. Pop goes the weasel.
That's it, nothing else. Just boop, and he's dead. Just for reference, the first film had a vampire melt down to the bone in a bath full of holy water. But now we have the final fight between an experienced head vampire and a halfling, which happened in the first film, and the halfling got destroyed immediately. What is interesting about this fight is that Shane is actually wearing the first bit of proper color that like actually pops in this entire film. I don't understand why, but it's nice to see. But after a pretty boring fight, they manage to kill Shane, and his death looks pretty weird. And Edgar comes in to deliver one of the coolest lines ever uttered in the history of cinema.
Build a man a fire, and he's warm for a day. Light a man on fire, and he's warm for the rest of his life.
Okay, I lied, it's terrible. And that's pretty much the end of the film. They go home and get accused of being stoners.
If I so much as see one seed or catch one whiff of reefer, and believe me, I know what it smells like, I'm calling the cops. No warning. We are talking 0 tolerance. You got that?
And it just ends. But literally 10 seconds into the credit sequence, credit song comes in and fades out immediately to allow for a mid-credit sequence. So what was the point in even starting the credits? But this scene teaches us that Sam, the younger brother in the first film, is now a vampire. Oh my god! Who cares, man? Me, actually, because I still have the third one to watch. Please listen to the song that plays over the credits. It sounds like each member of the band thought they were making a different song and didn't communicate at all. I really wish I could show you the whole song to prove what I mean. To be fair, I don't even know if I can show it at all. So just in case, I'll find it and link it in the description, just so you can experience the confusion I had. Thank you guys so much for joining me in watching this movie. We can't even call it a cash grab when it came out so long after the first film and made no money. But please like this video and subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate it, and I won't tell anybody what you did last week. You know what I'm talking about. Have a great day.